Jimmy!
Yeah? Did you open it yet?
No, I haven't opened it yet.
Do you want me to open it?
No, I don't want you to open it. I want to open it, but it's kind of making me feel sick. Ugh, I hate these friggin'
What if you
letters.
get deported?
What? Baby, it's not even funny.
It's kind of funny.
No, it's not funny. Are you serious?
It would be a little bit frustrating. We can get you back, it'd be okay.
The whole walk up from the letterbox up to the office, I was kind of had this mixture of excitement because I really need to know what it says, but at the same time, just total fear that what if it is something bad and what's it gonna mean?
Oh no, what? Good face?
Yes!
What, you got it? Is it
Congratulations, your request for the removal of your conditional basis of your permanent resident status has been approved. You are deemed to be a lawful permanent resident of the United States as of the date of your original admission or adjustment of status. You should receive your new green card within 60 days. Your card will include this form with important information about your status, responsibilities, and permanent resident services available to you. Yes! Hallelujah. My dealings with US immigration have finally come to an end. It's only taken like 4 years and like $15,000 and lots of sleepless nights, but I am officially accepted as a permanent resident of the United States for 10 years.
Thank God this green card thing is basically over now. I think I was a bit shocked. I thought for sure we were gonna go for an interview. I did not think he was just gonna get the automatic green card. So that is a huge weight off of our shoulders, especially since most of the time they plan these interviews for you at a really inopportune time and somewhere that is not close. So I'm really excited about it, and I'm just thrilled that I don't have to have the miracle baby in 6 months.
Oh,
I'm so glad we don't have to go for an interview. I don't know if I could have handled another one of those.
Me too. I felt like I was going to be sick just then. I just looked down and it said, notice of removal. I was like, oh. Oh, thank God.
Mission complete.
Mission complete.
Let's get on Facebook. Let everybody know.
Let's go get a drink.
Hey, we can use that champagne.
I can pop that champagne. That's so exciting, Jimmy. So I can't really describe to you, you know, it seems like a pretty simple thing, but to not have to stress about where you live is it's really a relief. It's a relief that every purchase we make, every you know, thing as a family now that we commit to, I not have this little thing in the back of my mind, like what would we do if I somehow, you know, had to get sent home? How would we manage? So it is a simple thing, but for me, I'm just so relieved.
Was it tricky getting back in? Were they fine? Or were they?
They were, no, I mean, I didn't get like taken aside, but, well, you know, like, I always get so nervous standing in the line, you know, like just because, even though I haven't done anything wrong. And I'm standing there and I'm thinking they're gonna ask me like, you know how they always ask you, well, you probably don't know.
No, I don't know.
They ask you like, where do you live? Where are you going in the United States? What's your job? How long are you staying there? Blah, blah, blah. And so like, and then I thought they were gonna ask me what I was doing in Canada. And so I had it all like, my answers ready to go. And then I get up there and he takes my passport and he looks at me and he looks at, and he goes, where's your green card? So I give it to him and give him the letter, the extension letter. He reads it and he just looks straight at me and goes, when did you get married? And I was like, what? Like October 2000, I was just like so muddled up in my head. I didn't know which way was up. And then I'm like, October 2010. And this guy looks at me like who do I think I am? So it was kind of funny. I was just really nervous. Not that I had really anything to be nervous about, but those kind of things make me anxious. And I'm sure that guy was probably thinking like, what the heck's this guy's problem? Like, he doesn't even know when he got married. But he let me through. I was probably there for about, over 5 minutes. I stood there, long enough to be friggin' wetting my pants. But he let me back in and then
No worries.
Yeah, and that was yesterday. I could have really done with that letter yesterday.
I know. I wonder if you had like
it might have come
this.
up on the system. It might have come up on his system because it's already been approved, right, on the 27th. When he looked at the computer screen, it might have already said. He might have already known. I don't know.
Maybe he was wondering where your green card was and stuff, and like how long.
Well, it hasn't been made yet, so.
Interesting. So if you had this letter or your green card, would they just let you straight in?
I think they still ask you. Yeah, they ask you a couple of questions, but I think if you've got it all, I mean, that's why we go through this stupid process now, is all this proof, you know, so they don't have to do all that so much, I guess, but either way.
Well, you don't have to live again for a while. 10
years. 10 years, no more immigration. It's so exciting.
Another really good thing about him finally getting this green card is that it just makes traveling so much less stressful, you know, especially in and out of the country.
Also too, it's just a sigh of relief that the commitments and stuff that we're making in this country are not gonna be in jeopardy if I was to have some kind of immigration problem. So it's a big sigh of relief, and I'm grateful that our 4 years has kind of come to a close and we can move on. I'm really happy to have Cold Harbour back in work. He's well and truly come back in after, you know, having a few little niggly things here. Unfortunately, we didn't really get going. Even right from before Bromont back in June, we haven't really got back in the swing of things yet, but we finally are back there now. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit of an emotional roller coaster in that you sort of get a little disheartened when your top horse is out for a bit. And you know, I'm kind of looking around thinking, what the heck am I doing? But now that he's back in work and looking good, although the timing has not really been helpful and that we're pretty much missing the entire fall, and I wanted to do 3 3-stars, 2 CIC 3-stars and the big 3-star at Fair Hill to qualify for Rolex. Unfortunately, none of those are going to come together.
Go your left or go straight?
Go straight. But now that he's back in work, I can start focusing on the future, which really helps with that little bit of depression you get when your horse goes lame, which I think most horse people can definitely attest to have experienced at some point. The other thing too for me that's been helpful has been Jimmy with Bellamy. She's really focused heavily on his dressage, and even just recently at Richland, she achieved a top 10 performance after the dressage. He's going as well as he's ever gone, and she's riding as well as she's ever ridden. So, you know, for us as a couple, you know, when she's competing and I'm not, it's almost as good as me competing. I'm just as excited about her getting a good result. So at least, you know, even though I may not be competing at the upper levels with my horse this go round, I get to be hands-on and cheering.
He's just really, really trying so hard for me, and I'm really getting excited about the 2 3-stars I have this fall. I'm going to Plantation in about 2 weeks, which is one of the best events ever in our backyard, which is really, really fun to go to.
She's probably going to do, hopefully, the best dressage test she's ever done. She's definitely gearing up for that. Last year in the 3-star there was a cross-country that caused a lot of problems, especially the water, and Jimmy actually was the first one to go around and just skipped around it like it was a training level course. So she really also too at Plantation, they this year are offering a Jeep, 12 months in a Jeep Wrangler, I think it is, a new Jeep Wrangler, and Jimmy loves Jeeps, so she's like so committed to winning this event, and I think it's more about trying to win the orange Jeep than anything, so we really need another set of wheels. So I'm really looking forward to Plantation and the rest of the fall.
So hopefully I can get around Plantation really well, and I'm planning on knocking out the dressage and then continuing on that streak. For any of you that have not heard of Plantation Field Horse Trials or don't know what it is, the promo video is below in the description. Please watch it. It's such an amazing event, and if any of you guys can come out, you would really enjoy it. On to Fair Hill. It's going to be huge, it's going to be big like it always is, and it's essentially probably going to be a mini Rolex, which is the point of going. So I really am looking to just be so confident there, and Bellamy to be so confident there, and then I feel like if I can get around that track really well, and I would give anything to be in the top 10 there. I think I would be really, really confident going into hopefully Rolex in April.
Kaz, aka Game Boy, he's my one of my little newest thoroughbred prospects. You might remember him from a couple of weeks ago when we took him to his very first cross-country school. Well, he's been continuing to go really well. I'm actually, he's kind of shocked me. I decided on him because he was a pretty good package. He was well put together, he was small, he had a good brain, he was just a nice, good little horse. And I think in my bones, he's actually got a lot more scope and a lot more ability than maybe what I first pegged him for, which is a good thing to have. He's just got such a great brain. So a lot of people ask me what I do with the thoroughbreds when they come off the track. So Kaz, he raced in July 4th, so that's almost 2 months ago. He's a 5-year-old, but he hadn't really been in hard racing form right before he came off the track. So I decided to not really give him too much of a holiday, whereas some of the others that we have on vacation for a while. The first step I do is let him just hack. When I decide to start riding them, I pretty much just don't put any pressure on them whatsoever and just hack them out in the fields every day or 5 days a week for a couple weeks. In the beginning, it's not very pleasant because they pretty much jig the whole time, but it teaches them just to sort of unwind. Once they begin their kind of training, I guess, the next thing is riding them sort of in an arena type setting, which they're not really used to. And everything is very low pressure. So I should be dealing with a horse now that he might be a little feisty, but he's had a chance to sort of take a breath with all the hacking. So he hopefully isn't as spooky or as flighty as he was. And now basically when I ride him around for the next few weeks, I just, little pressure. I want him to go forward. I want him to steer left and right. And I want him to basically be able to stay contained in a space, which will kind of prepare him for the flat work. And also too, around the same time, I'm exposing him to jumps, little poles on the ground, little cross rails and stuff. Kaz now is at a point where he's going to a show in 2 weekends' time, like an actual proper recognized show for his debut. I'm only riding him every second day at the moment because he's got such a good mind. He doesn't need to be drilled really hard. He's at the point now where I can canter around a little 2'6" course, no problem. He changes leads. The flat work is sort of the thing that I'm now working on a bit because I have to get ready to put him in a 40x20, which will be the next big challenge. But it's all very low stress and I let him kind of go at his own pace. I'm not too concerned if he's not making the perfect dressage picture yet. I just want him to be happy. So that's what I'm working on today.
Kaz has been coming along really, really well. I like to somewhat compare his relationship with Dom to Dom and Vegemite's relationship. Dom's very, very close with Kaz and they have a really special little bond, but he's kind of the horse that surprised us. We bought him and thought that he was, maybe going to be kind of a resale project. We weren't really sure, and he's just really answered every single question we've asked of him, and he's turned out to be a really super cool horse.
On the flat, his strengths are the fact that he's, a fairly willing horse. He's quite a soft horse too. He's got quite a soft mouth, really. His difficulties right now, like any kind of thoroughbred, is his understanding of the bit and his understanding of the bridle. If you could, for anyone that's ever ridden track work or ridden at the track, they would know that the way we use the bit to communicate to the horse, there's a little bit more sophisticated with what we're looking for in a dressage horse or an eventer. So it takes a little bit of transition for the horses to understand what the bit actually means and what we're looking for it to be. He's definitely unsure of what the contact is, and he goes around pretty sweetly, and so every now and then he kind of goes, bleh. throws his head up in the air, but I'm not too concerned. I know that he's only improving. One of the parts that Kaz struggles with right now is kind of keeping it together in a transition, especially going from the trot to the canter. Him going into the left canter is relatively easy because, like most racehorses, he's more balanced that way. Going into the right canter, it's kind of a little bit of a 50-50 that he even gets the correct lead. Not only trying to get him to get the correct lead, but sort of stay together without throwing his head in the air. That's kind of where we're at right now. When he does try to kind of hit the bit and come above the bit, I just focused on really riding the horse forward through the transition, not letting him get too stuck. And basically, with my hand or with the bit, I'm trying to not just throw the reins at him. I'm trying to give him something that he can work into, and that if he really tries to rip against it, I kind of resist him a little bit. But when he kind of softens his neck and he sort of shows me that he's not trying to go against, I kind of soften back to him. So it just sort of depends on the situation here as to what he does, how I react. But I'm trying to make it very black and white for him. I'm trying to make it extremely simple, that he doesn't have to get stressed about this, that the bit is there, something that kind of basically can give him some security, that I can actually communicate with him with it, rather than something he has to, fuss about or get upset. So that's really what I'm trying to instill in him right now. Good boy. You're doing great. The Breeze is also another horse that you haven't seen for a few weeks. He is the chestnut thoroughbred that was jumping with Ella that day a little while back. And he's going really well. You haven't seen much of him. He had about a week and a half off because his feet got a little bit sore, which was probably from the hard ground. We didn't really get a lot of rain, and the ground around here got quite hard. But the farrier kind of came out, and we did some stuff with his feet. He's felt a lot better, and he's going great. I'm actually really happy with him. The one thing about Breeze is he's a little bit of a gutso. He likes food and hasn't really trimmed down much, but that's okay. That's probably a better problem to have than him being skinny.
He looks like he's happy to be working, and it's really fun to see him progress along, and I'm excited for him to go to his first event. It'll be good.
The thing about Breeze is he's very, very forward-thinking kind of horse, and our focus on the flat has been very much for him to sort of take a breath and remember how to just wait, and he doesn't always have to be in such a hurry to get everywhere. So we kind of keep him occupied with lots of different exercises to kind of keep him busy on the flat, and just encouraging him to take a breath and not necessarily get too wound up about anything. And I'm really pleased with how he's coming along.
Like Dom said, he likes to attack the jumps. He's a very forward-thinking horse. I wouldn't even consider it rushing. He just always is in front of your leg and wants to go forward, which isn't really a bad thing. It's actually quite nice. The good thing about a horse that's kind of forward-thinking is, although they might want to kind of get strong in your hand at times, his attitude in the jumping has really pleased me. He's been very quick to figure out what I'm looking for in the jumps. You might remember from that first episode I was jumping him, he was kind of a little bit too keen. He's definitely improved a lot since then, so it's kind of a double-edged sword. The things that you love about a thoroughbred can sometimes be what makes them tricky, but either way, I think he's going to make a really cool horse as he goes to his first show here in the next couple of weeks. He's a very different horse to the, say, Kaz or Ella. He's kind of a little bit older and has a little bit more of an idea of what's going on, but he's a really, really cool horse. I enjoy riding him a lot. So because it's been so hot and humid, I'm gonna jump him inside a little bit where it's a bit cooler. And my goal here is just to have him be really patient. So even though it's a taller vertical, I can still trot him into it, let him figure out what he wants to do with his legs. Easy, man. Oh. Oh, good boy. So he did some funny things there, but we're still not unhappy with him because he's trying not to touch the poles.
So I'll canter it this time and see if he's any better. Easy, man. Oh. Oh. Oh, good boy. Bit of an overachiever. That's okay. Good boy. Good boy. He kind of gives you the feel like one day he's going to canter down to a really big jump and know how to jump it. He's definitely probably what you would consider an off-the-track thoroughbred, sort of, 6 months, 6 to 12 months from when they leave the track. You've given him some time. His owner gave him some time to sort of recoup and get healthy and fatten up a little bit and decompress. And now he's sort of been in his new job for a few months. He's sort of where I would consider them to be at 6 months or so, that they've seen all three things. They're a little bit confident. They might still be green in some aspects, but they're starting to get familiar with their new job, and now they're just about ready to become true eventers and go and do all three phases. So I'm excited about Breeze. I think he's going to be a really fun little horse to take eventing. Hey, mancha. Exciting news is that we sold our trailer, and that happened all very quickly. So now we've basically got a credit application in to hopefully get our new trailer. I'm sort of waiting to hear back from that. So
the kittens. I know that all of you are just dying to know whether I've gotten any kittens, 2 kittens, 3 kittens, 4 kittens, 7 kittens. I haven't decided. I can't decide. And I can't decide how angry Dom's gonna be when I get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Hopefully within the next couple of days it will come together. I'm actually heading to a clinic in Alabama tomorrow, so Jimmy might be the lucky one that gets to go pick it up.
10 kittens, I don't know what to do. I just don't know.
For our season finale next week, hopefully we'll have our brand new trailer to show off to you guys. Anyways, we'll catch up with you next week.